America's largest and most valuable export to China, do you know what it is? Soybeans. Well, they have crashed to zero because of President Trump's trade war. Farmers are feeling the pain big time, and the Trump administration could announce a more than $10 billion bailout this week. But farmers tell Janet Shamlian their problems are much bigger than that.
It's harvest season in America's heartland.
Is this the prime harvest time in southern Illinois?
Yes, it is right now.
But for soybean farmers like Scott Gaffner, it's a season of worry. Soybeans are the nation's largest agricultural export. But as the trade war drags on, China, America's biggest buyer, hasn't purchased any this year.
We can't help but feel very anxious of wondering why it's taking so long to get this resolved.
Are you angry?
The farther we go into this season, the more we're going to lose. And China should have been buying our beans already, and they're not. It's like crickets.
So he's storing what he's producing, hoping the market will turn.
So we're going to lose probably about $2 a bushel this year.
And how much does that mean overall?
That means a lot. It means we can't sustain that kind of loss for a very long of a time period without going under.
And it's not the first time this has happened. Soybean farmers were hammered during President Trump's first trade war with China in 2018. Now the administration is promising them another bailout.
We don't want the aid, we want the trade.
Gaffner says one-time relief is not a long-term solution.
If China starts buying elsewhere, which they are doing now, once they establish those trade routes, it becomes more difficult for them to come back to the U.S. to buy their commodities. Once we lose that, we may never get it back again. And that's huge for next generations.
Including for his son Cody, who would be the fourth generation to farm the land.
If I do come back, I do have to have a second job to supplement that, because there's no way currently with the tariffs in place that we can survive with that.
For Scott Gaffner, it's about more than his bottom line.
We're just not stimulating our own sales, we're stimulating the economy in our area. That economy relies upon us as farmers to keep that economy going. And so it impacts everybody.
Trump just made a post on Truth Social and talking about China purposely stopped buying American soybeans and that it's an economically hostile act. Then he threatened to stop buying cooking oil from China. I am here to help you to understand what he's actually talking about. Let's break it down. First, China used to be the biggest buyer of U.S. soybeans. Most of the soybeans are for cooking oils or for animals, cows and pigs and chickens, all that kind of stuff. This is not hostility, that's economics. This is capitalism, which American politicians love it until it doesn't work in their favor. When you tax and threaten your main customer, they move to another suppliers. That's how free trade works. Now, you probably already know, but Trump didn't mention the U.S. Treasury recently approved about $20 billion of financial package for Argentina. Political aid to, disguise as economic support. Basically, the U.S. want Milei to stay in place, and that's why they give him the money. Right after that, Argentina cut export tax on soybeans, and China immediately bought around 20 ships of Argentine soybeans, which carrying about 65,000 tons. So U.S. taxpayers' money ended up helping Argentina undercut U.S. farmers. This logic is just mind-blowing. This is not foreign victory. This is self-inflicted damage. Now the cooking oil thing. The U.S. does not really buy cooking oil from China. It buys used cooking oil, waste oil, grease, connected from restaurants to make biodiesel, jet fuels, and those oils powers trucks and planes, not really kitchens. The reality is the trade war does not really hurt China's government. They hurt American farmers. They hurt the same working class who voted for him, and because they believe that he was fighting for them. And every time when working class hurt, it is always the government's fault. It's incompetence of the government. The social dynamic or the social antagonism is always between the ordinary working class people and the government. If the people hurt, it's government's fault. So you don't have to blame left and right or that kind of culture, or that kind of crap. It's government's incompetence. Anyway, I have more videos like this on Substack, link in bio, or visit grumpychinese.com. Thank you.
Welcome back, family. As we have seen, the people of US are now complaining. There's lack of employment in US. people of US are complaining, the farmers of US are complaining because they were depending in China of buying their soybeans. But due to the tariff of Donald Trump, the China has decided that they won't buy it anymore because the tariff raised a big amount for China to buy the soybeans. That's why the Chinese has decided that better they buy it from Brazil than buy from US. Because if you see the tariff of Trump, the price has increased almost 100%. So that's why the farmers of US, not most of them, all the farmers of soybeans, they are complaining because as we have seen the video, and I'm gonna play some of the clips so that you're gonna see how the farmers are complaining. And they are saying that now there will be most and many of the people that will be unemployed. They will lack a job because they were depending on selling the product, the soybeans, and the place that they were depending on it most is in China. But now they are not selling the soybeans to China anymore. Why? Tell me what's here in the comment section. Do you see, did China take a good decision of not buying the soybeans from US and went to buy from Brazil or from other countries? Is that a good decision? So, because I know the people that are affected most are the farmers of US, the farmers of soybeans, because they were depending on it most. Tell me what you see in the comment. Do you see it's a good decision that Trump take that tariff, or it is a bad decision? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, it's African Arrow. I'm gonna play you some clips of other farmers complaining, the suggestion of other farmers, how they see the tariffs taking them. I'm gonna play some of the clips. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share and comment. Tune in and watch the clips until the end.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us, harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field. Historically, over the last 5 years, about a third of soybean sales to China would be booked. China amounts to 25% of our total U.S. soybean crop. So that would be 8 or 9% of the whole U.S. crop would normally be on the books with China right now, and we have 0. That is alarming. The farm economy as a whole is struggling. Inflation has caused our cost of production to rise drastically on every front. Commodity prices, in particular soybeans, are down about 50% from where they were 3 years ago. And our numbers are deeply in the red. And we send this letter to President Trump because we've been talking for months about needing to have sales in place, a deal in place, a phase 2 type agreement that has purchase commitments along with a level playing field on trade with no tariffs. And we haven't had anything happen, unfortunately. And our appeal to President Trump and his administration is make soybeans a priority in any trade negotiations that are taking place. Soybeans are the #1 agriculture export to China. And in the last trade war, it was 71% of the losses that we had as American farmers. And they're critical.
Yeah, so if we look at, and we're going to divide. So I'll stay with grain and oilseeds because that's what I do day to day. But I just have to say one thing about livestock. For livestock folks, we're in good world for them right now. So I'd love to be able to have as good a world that they're having in GNO, but we just don't. And so there's just so many things, and it's really a supply story this year. When you think about across the globe, we haven't had a year where every country's almost saying on all 8 cylinders. 8 cylinders where we're getting full production. And that's where we are right now. It's also, too, a bit of a dichotomy in the U.S. is that we're building corn stocks, but the world is not. It's just the opposite in soybeans, where the world's building soy stocks and we're not. And so it's a very weird world, but the fact is we just have so much supply in the world, that's just going to keep prices, really on the defensive.
I'm making this video from Iowa. We own a soybean farm here, and we are really struggling right now. The entire soybean industry is collapsing thanks to these tariffs and the fact that China has completely cut off all contracts with the United States. They are importing all of their soybeans from Brazil. Thanks to these trade wars, soybean prices have dropped so much that it's pushing all of us farmers into the red in an already difficult year. We're part of the Soybean Farmers Association, and we sent a letter to the president this month urging him to stop this trade war so that the entire industry doesn't go under. On top of that, the tariffs have made all of our farm equipment skyrocket in price. We can barely afford anything right now. Of course, as a farmer, I voted red just like all the other soybean farmers, and now the people we elected are ruining our entire business, our entire way of life, our entire industry. The same thing happened in 2019 when he had the trade war with China. I mean, I know it doesn't make sense that we voted for him again, but we just can't help it. Anyway, any help that we could get urging him to end this trade war would be much appreciated.